everybody. Welcome back to the Raw Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, go right down here. Go in your settings. Yeah, down there. Find your subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. What you waiting on? And while you're in there, hit your notification bell so you know when I upload or when I just want to stop or just want to pop in and give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis. Woo, that beast who has me by my neck and is shaking me to and fro. The algorithm, I really would appreciate it. And right about here, that is our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of our reading club, you will be supporting my little channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful for that support. I cannot tell you. We have a super thanks button over here that's for one-time donations, and whatever you choose to donate to this channel will always be greatly appreciated. All right, with all that said, let's get to the read. Let's get to the read because we have a lot. You know what? I almost did a pop up today, but I said what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the read on. We're going to reminisce about Harry and Meghan's Australia and Oceanic tour. But before we get to that, I got to tell you about the internet streets. You know, when I was putting the read together, I was on these internet streets. And of course, I was over to Instagram and they over there dragging Charles and his horse. You know that they are. But the big drag that's going on is Mike Tyndall. They are dragging him. He had the nerve to open his mouth and say Megan. And what did he do that for? Because you know they don't play over on Instagram with stuff like that. Also, did I go over to the dark side today? I did not. I did not go to the dark side today. I don't remember that I watched any panels today either. So I didn't do that. But I also went to TikTok. I did do that. You know, it's some new squatties that are popping up, new squatties that are popping up, and they are so entertaining. They kind of have my attitude, and I love that. I love that. They got that don't start none, don't be none attitude, and we all know that's pretty much the way it is here on the Royal Read. So I love it. So I've been peeping over there and seeing what's going on over there. And it's a few new ones popping up. I love it. I love it when the Sussy Squad is growing because them folks over there, it is ridiculous how much hate and how much profit those people occur over on the dark side. I think it's a lot of it is bot fed, but when it's like that, it's just more and more. It just grows more. They spawn more and more and more, and yeah. So I love it when new squatties come on board. I really do, and I try to go over there and support. You know that. And let's see, I was on X, of course. Y'all know a day is not going to pass if I'm not going to be on X. And of course, they are dragging Mike Tyndall. That is the big theme of the day because we are sick of people using Harry or Meghan or both to try to sell they old tacky, raggedy books. And who titles their book The Good, the Bad, and the Rugby? A dummy. A dummy does that. That is a dummy title. And yet and still he's trying to use our Duchess to sell books and trying to compare himself with her. And the squatties are just not having it. They are all lined up with the same agenda, and that is to drag him all the way to HE double hockey sticks. And I'm telling you, they are giving it a good try, especially on X, formerly known as Twitter. And like I said, even Instagram is getting in on the drag. Usually, Instagram is pretty much focused on what Megan is doing, what she's wearing, all the positive stuff, and just reminding us of just how terrific they are. but they getting in on the drag this time, and I love it. I do. I love it. I love it. Because anytime I can drag it and them folks over there, it's a good day for me. I'm just saying. And so we're going to begin, but we're going to talk a little bit about Mike Tyndall. And it's some other dude that married some lady of some kind of relative of the royal family. I have no idea. I have tried to do research and exactly, and I still ain't figured out who she is, but some guy talking about he married into the family. And one squatter said, who cares? Lord and lady, nobody cares or gives a. That's who they are. And I kind of feel that same way. And that's pretty much the way they feel about Mike Tyndall. How in the world are you going to equate your experience within this family with Megan? Megan came in there with beauty, with intelligence, with capability, with a built in fan club. You know what I'm saying? People knew who she was prior to her getting there. And she came in with her own money. She did that. And here he is living on Ann's property in a house that Ann has, pretty much the security and all that is taken care of by the crown. And he's still struggling, still in debt, still can't keep his head above water, continuously trying to sell something like that old raggedy book he trying to peddle off now. Like, who in the world would be interested in that meathead's life? Get out of here. Who cares? And talking about rugby, rugby is a local type uh, sport. That's not something you can sell all over the world because everybody all over the world do not play rugby. If you, I'm not, I'm just saying, here in America, we don't pretty much know what that is. We don't. So, and we don't know who he is. And big shocker, we don't want to know. I'm just saying, I'm going to put this up. I'm going to put this up. It said, are the British royal family really that tone deaf? They have their media troglodytes massively reporting how they openly welcome a white person marrying into their family, even cheaters like Mike Tyndall, and somehow they fail to understand how worse it makes them look like racists to Meghan. Where is a lie? And I mean, it is plastered all over the place, including people. But yes, they don't see how tone deaf that is. It is got this guy, this white guy, this meathead going around talking about how easy it was for him in the royal family. But, and comparing himself to a black woman who came in there with the goods, beauty, smarts, her own money, a capability. She was a threat to all of them. And we all know that they didn't realize how big a threat she was until the Australia Oceanic tour. And we're going to go over that a little later. But Harry himself recognized it because these people are not like real people. They hate on each other so hard. I have just never, I really think that they really need to stop calling it a family. I think Prince Philip had it right. It is a firm, it is not a family. It is all about, look at William, how he is positioning himself and talking to the press about when he is king and just seem like he is totally void of emotion that in order for him to become king, his father has to die. But we all know how Charles were totally and absolutely void of emotion because his mom had to die for him to become king. He didn't care anything about the queen. All he cared about was the throne. And that's why, it was in the wind, it was talked about on the curb that he really wanted her to abdicate. He did. He wanted that throne earlier, but the queen held on to it in her dying hand. They had to pry it out of her cold, dead hand. She meant she was going to hold on to the end. But yes, they so tone deaf. They so inept when it comes to PR. They do not have the ability to see what other people are seeing. Harry said that so many times. He said they live in a bubble and they only know what they know. But look like they would have outside advisors who would be, able to say, well, I don't think that's a good idea. But when you're a bootlicker, you can't, you too busy licking boots to say anything. Your mouth is full. I'm just saying. All right, let's go on. And yeah, they posted this. Y'all remember yesterday when I said he recently was on that show? What was it? Get Me Out of Here. I'm a Celebrity. And it was a big thing about this picture right here. He over there grabbing one of the producers. Yes, he over there doing that. But if Harry had did something like that, but they covered it up, they brushed it off, they pretend like it was just, boys being boys. But this is clearly an assault. She doesn't want his hands on her. And look at him. He is all the way up her. Look where his hand is at. It's under her breast. I'm just saying. And it says this: White British Mike Tundle, aka Sheik of the Neanderthals, wife 21st in the line to the throne, and a non-working, non-senior, untitled member of the royal family. Neither he nor his wife are a threat or an asset to the institution. His wife is a minor role far down the line of succession. End of story. Let me read that again because that was so delicious. It was so delicious. This squatter just went straight to the neck to say exactly what needs to be said. She said, White British Mike Tyndall, aka Sheik of the Neanderthals, wife 21st in line to the throne, and a non working, non senior, untitled member of the royal family. Neither he nor his wife are a threat or an asset. They're not even a this is why they say they are not a threat or a asset to the institution. His wife is a minor royal far down the line of succession. End of. In the story. But yet and still he gonna compare himself to Meghan, who married the most popular royal that was in the world, which was Prince Harry. He is the most known. He's the most famous royal it is. I mean, when you have a Jeopardy question, they say Prince Harry, even when it's somebody else, because that's all Americans know. They know Princess Diana and they know Prince Harry. End of. And here we are, more dragging of Mike Tyndall, and I love it, can't get enough of it. It says, I see why the royal family welcomed Mike Tyndall and James Middleton with open arms. Mike cheats on his wife, and James is married but like men. Mess with Megan if you dare. Y'all know what that picture says. If y'all mess with Megan or Harry, the Sussy Squad will eat your face off. Look what the Look what has popped up here. Somebody outing James Middleton. Because you know he was peddling that same mess last week with his book when he was up there peddling it, him and Ella, the dog. Y'all remember that? He was talking about how he didn't understand why Megan wasn't welcome because Kate welcomed his wife and all this. But this squatter said that I bet you she won't welcome your boyfriend. I got to read that again. I love it. I love y'all know I'm messy. Y'all know I'm messy. And this is delicious. This is delicious. And look at this picture of Mike Tyndall kissing another woman, and he is a newlywed. He is a newlywed in this picture. And look at him kissing her. And look at James Middleton. A man is kissing him. I'm just saying. Let's read it again. This is too delicious. I'm telling you, mess with Harry and Meghan if you want to. The squatties will dig up everything. Go inside your head and go through your dreams, your thoughts, your hopes, and your aspirations. They will, and they'll find what they are looking for. Look what they done found on James Middleton. Who knew? Who knew? We all know now, don't we? It says, I see why the royal family welcomed Mike Tyndall and James Middleton with open arms. Mike cheats on his wife, and James is married but like men. When they go low, we go to the center of the earth. We go to the earth's core. And I love it. I love it. And then posted a picture of it. Mm, it is something so special. I'm telling you. And also, after they got through dragging Mike Tyndall, they started dragging Charles. We all know what's going on with Charles. And they started to try to make excuses. The squatters said they're trying to make excuses for this tour that they supposedly uh everybody is the buzz is on the street as the flying monkeys who done flew down there. They talking about the buzz is on the street. I forgot his name. What did I say his name was? Said, the one that you can't see both his ears at the same time. That one. What is his name? I cannot think of his name right now, but he was on y'all remember I told you he was on the Today Show and talking about they were moaning and crying about the fact that the politicians didn't want to have nothing to do with Charles. But they was talking about the buzz on the street. I almost called his name. What is his name? I cannot. Oh God. But anyway, if it comes to me, I'll say it. But I'm gonna put this up. I'm gonna put this up. And it says they already making excuses the the fact that the side chick Cam is going to be a rude sourpuss face like she always is. If she is so old and tired and not used to working, they don't why don't they just stay at home? And this particular squatty is Australian, and she has been dragging them up, down, and all around those internet streets over there on X, formerly known as Twitter. And that guy it just popped up. Russell Myers. Russell Myers was the one telling them it's the buzz on the street. Ah, and I just love it for them. I do, I do. I'm telling y'all, I'm so excited about this trip. I am so excited. I am so excited. So I can just pick it up. hard. Oh, I love it because that's what they do to Megan. If they stop doing Harry and Meghan like that, then we'll stop doing them like that. I'm just saying. But yes, they're trying to make excuses for. She calls her Cam. I call her Charles. It's horse. And so they had this article talking about tour struggles. Coming soon. Inside Camilla Spears for exhausting Australian tour amidst King's health news and coping mechanisms she relies on. Editor-in-chief of Majesty magazine, Ingrid Seward, told Fabulous, I guess that's another magazine, Queen Camilla is 76. She gets very tired because she's not born to this royal life. Camilla has been in this royal life all her life, just about. He said, I know she has been in it a long time, but she's not born to it. And I think people sometimes forget that Camilla never actually had a job. Yes, she did. But it was just horizontal. Yeah, that kind. Yeah, she had ones. It was just horizontal. But they saying that she's that. How can you go through your whole life and never actually have a job? That is wild to me. How can the UK public relate to these people? Well, how can you relate to Camilla? Camilla has done nothing but slept her way to the very top. Now you got to give her props because when you look at her face card, it would just to look at it, you would say that it would be impossible for her to do, take what she got and use it to the point where she has the top job. Because her face card is not, if you said decline, you would actually be giving her a compliment because it is destroyed. But yet and still, she has been able to use what she has and get to the top. But I think, too, when you're dealing with somebody like Charles was looking for a mommy figure or something like that. He couldn't because he had this beautiful, statuesque woman, Diana, beautiful on every level. And her face card was never declined up until the last breath she took. But yet and still, he chose the horse. That should tell you a lot about what's going on with Charles and his mental state. I'm just saying. But it says she's not great. She's not a great traveler, and she's not good in the heat because you know her. You know, like a lot of women her age. Her feet swell up. She feels uncomfortable. So it's not the most pleasurable thing to do for her to whisk across to Australia, although it might really be exciting for somebody younger. They're making excuses for Camilla right now. So why not just pass it on? But she did everything. She snaked her way for years and years and years and used poor little Harry to clear the way, throwing him up on the bus, feeding him to the tabloid media, to the wolves, doing everything she could to get the job. Now you telling me she don't want the job or she ain't able to carry the job out? Stop it, stop it. We're gonna be on her neck. That's it. We just gonna be on her neck about it because this is what she did. I'm gonna put this up, and to me, my nose itching, y'all. Excuse me. I'm gonna put this up, and this right here just this says it all for me. This is ridiculous. How is this not ridiculous? UK, are you seeing this? This is ridiculous. You are continuing this nonsense right here. I mean, by birth, this man gets to sit on all this gold and put all these stolen jewels on his head, and while children are hungry, crying for milk, the Thames smell like a sewer, the elderly is freezing, and he's sitting up there with all this junk on him. It is, and y'all are running him a extra 56 million on top of what, how much, 100, I think it's 116 million. So yeah, and the Republic movement said that in actuality, with everything, they cost y'all a $500 million dollars a year. Well, £500 million a year. That's close to $250,000 for us. But over £500 million a year for this nonsense here. It's crazy. I'm just saying. And this says, why won't Australians buy from me? Because the Australians think y'all are crazy. This is nonsense here. And why would you bow to another human being who has done nothing except slip through a birth canal? If Charles never slipped through the Queen's birth canal, he wouldn't be sitting there. Somebody else would be sitting there. How much sense does that make? That makes no sense whatsoever. All right, I wanted to talk about this too. I didn't talk about it yesterday. And this man who sits there, I'm gonna put it back up, sits there with all this stuff on him, just all his crown, the scepters of gold, and all this with the just all of it, sitting there like an idiot. He put an ad up for a maid, and he wants to pay this maid that he has this ad for 22 £22,000 a year. I kid you not, to clean up after him and let him choke her out, and to put the sink back together after he pulled it out at the wall and cursed everybody out about a leaky pan. They have to put up with all of that for less than minimum wage. This says, a rich man in his castle, a poor man at his gate. God made them high or lowly, the order their estate. It said the king advertised for Windsor Castle housekeeper, offering applicants less than minimum wage. Who would take that? Who would take that? You could go to Burger King or you could go to McDonald's and make more than that. Why would you want to work for these people? They have such little value for you as a human being that they don't even feel like you are worthy of minimum wage. I'm just saying. That's crazy to me. All right, we're going to get off of Charles a little bit and we're going to talk about Harry and Meghan when Harry and Meghan went to Australia. And we all know Harry and Meghan's tour, their African tour, was the last successful tour that this family has ever had. And their Australia and Oceanic tour is the last successful Australian tour that they have had. William and Kate's tour was like, I would say, lukewarm. They had the baby, they had George. George was an arm baby. And so people came out to see the baby and stuff like that. So it was considered, reasonable. It was considered, acceptable. But when Harry and Meghan came, they, of course, knocked it out of the park. They blew it up. And we're going to talk a little bit about, and we're going to reminisce, and I'm going to put some pictures up. First of all, y'all remember this. This is the girl that got so excited about Harry and Meghan when Harry and Meghan was doing that walkabout. She was saying that she was such a fan of Harry's. And one thing about this Australian and Oceanic tour was the young people that was there. It was so many young people. I remember them talking about how many young people came out to see Harry and Meghan, and how Harry and Meghan is such a draw for young people. And we all know that the royal family is pretty much dead in the water when it comes to young people. But yet and still, they didn't see this as an opportunity that Harry and Meghan was able to connect with young people. They didn't see that as an opportunity. They saw it as a threat because they have such an inflated sense of self. They feel like they can do, all they got to do is do whatever somebody else is doing and they'll be successful too. When you are a person and you don't understand what your shortcomings are, you are pretty much ridiculous. That's all I can say. And that's what they are. They are ridiculous because they don't see their shortcomings. You know, when it, and I know this is a little off topic, but I remember when Harry and Meghan was still working roles, and it leaked out that Camilla was angry with Megan because Megan had went to this was when just before they left. Just before they left, Megan went to she was the patron for the National Arts or Theater, the something like that, but it was a theater arts or whatever. So Megan went to say goodbye and all that, but she did not. I think she maybe took one camera or something. I don't know, but it wasn't that many pictures come out. But she didn't. It didn't come out when she did it. It came out the next day, and they announced that well they showed the pictures and everything like that, which was on the same day that Camilla was supposed to be giving her big speech about domestic violence. She it was a big speech, and they said she was irritated about that. And I said to myself, no, she couldn't be. That doesn't even really make make any sense, you know. I didn't realize it took, just like it took a while for the scales to fall off of Harry's eyes, it took a while for the scales to fall off of my eyes because when Megan first married into this family, that's when I really just started paying attention. And it was hard. It took a little while for the light bulb to come on because I was thinking that they were like a regular family. I did not know these was a den of vipers and a den of people who will knife and shank you at a turn of at the turn of your back. I did not know that. And I just thought Charles and Camilla being older and everything like that, they would be more secure in who they are. They were going to be king and queen. Why would they have a problem with Harry and Meghan? This was before we learned a lot of stuff that was going on. I said, why would she have a problem with Meghan? These people have a problem even when they going to be king and queen. Yeah, so I was like, I just found that so, so weird. And they saw Harry and Meghan in Australia and all these young people, the opportunities that Harry and Meghan could have brought to really, really talk to the young people and relate to the young people. Because look at this audience. It is just a bunch of young people. It's a bunch of young people. Young people could care less about Camilla and Charles, and they could care less about William and Kate. I'm just saying. And that little girl, she was just so thrilled. And do y'all remember this? This lady, oh my goodness, Harry had met her, I think, 2 or 3 times prior. She would come out every time he would come. He would come to Australia. He was a young man, and then he came again, and then he said he brought Megan to introduce to her. And look at her. The minute she saw Megan, her arms were just outstretched, and Megan's arms are outstretched. Yeah, oh, I love this picture. And Harry is so proud to introduce his wife to her. she has, I think maybe a year or so after this, she passed away because I think she was in her 90s when this was going on. And she was, her husband was a veteran, so she would wear his medals and whatnot. Yes, yes, it was so good. Ah, don't you love reminiscing? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love it. And y'all remember this? Y'all know what that is? That is the macaroni necklace that the little boy made for Megan. You remember they were doing the walkabout and he said that he had made a necklace for her. And she took it. She thought it was so amazing. She took it and put it on. And here he is making the macaroni necklaces. And do you not know he made $18,000 making those macaroni necklaces that he donated to this? Let's see, what's the name of it? Here it is. I'm going to put it up. It said Gavin made the necklace to sell around the world. After Gavin gave Megan the necklace, he received orders from all around the world. uh, I made a necklace.com. And here, I mean, where people could buy the same gliding pasta design. He has now raised a staggering $15,000, over 8,000 pounds, and which he has donated to Mercy Prenatal, um, in memory of his stillborn sister. They now developed a blood test that can determine which babies are at risk of being stillborn and deliver them safely, and has even been on tour of the lab to see the work being done. That's Megan's power. She did that. Well, he did that. Yeah, y'all remember that? That was so good. Oh my goodness, his name is Gavin. And here he is again making the necklaces. It was so many cute little stories like that during this trip. I cannot go through all of it. It's just so much. It's just so cute. And y'all remember this little boy with Down syndrome? Do y'all remember him? And he just kind of imprinted on Harry and Meghan. And he loved Harry and Meghan's beard. He loves Harry's beard. Y'all remember that? It was so good. Oh my goodness. And he just up and just loved and hugged Megan. It was just so good. Oh, good. And y'all remember this? Yes, when they were out in the farmland and they were going through a drought, and Harry and Meghan brought the rain. We should have knew Harry and Meghan was going to be good luck because it hadn't rained for a long time. And when Harry and Meghan got there, it started to rain, and Meghan held the umbrella. This guy said, "I'll hold the umbrella." And Harry said, no, my wife will hold it. And everybody just went, ah, because he was calling Megan his wife. Y'all remember that? That was so good. So good. Another good story. Also, here's another picture of that right there. Look at that. And you remember how Megan looked at Harry? Oh my goodness. And y'all remember how Pierce Morgan got on national television and said, well, it looks nice, but she's an actress. They had, before they finished that tour, they had started the nonsense. They had started the smearing. They had started the bullying. I remember that distinctly, what he said on Good Morning Britain. And I said to myself, where did that come from? Everybody is enjoying the tour. Where did that come from? And it made my ears perk up. But little did I know it was the beginning of the onslaught of the nonsense that was coming. But because he saw a beautiful picture like this, and he said, well, she is an actress. She is acting. I remember that. And we remember when they went and had lunch with the farming family. Y'all remember that? Oh, so good. And they had this little cutie patootie right here. And Megan baked bread. I'm going to read this. It said, how incredibly thoughtful Duchess Megan baked banana bread for the Woolley family at Adam's house last night, at Adam's house. I guess that's the house that Harry and Meghan was staying last night, which she shared at tea on the farm today when she and Prince Harry visited Dubo. So this must have been a tweet from way back then. But that is the bread. I think it was banana and what was it? Banana and something. It was a combination of two. It was banana bread, but it was also something else. I think it was uh um what was it? Oh, I can't think of it, but it was banana and something. I cannot think of it. I wish I could, but moving on. Y'all know this old memory of mine sometime, but oh my God. And look at the picture of the tea, what they had. They had sandwiches, and Megan brought a baked good. And she was the first royal to ever do anything like that. And they was just so shocked that she would do that. I think it was zucchini. I think it was banana and zucchini bread. I think that's what it was. Y'all correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think it was zucchini. But it was a combination. It wasn't just banana. And yeah, and we all know that later on, here come William and Kate with a whole load of goods that they said that she had baked. I think they was at the Ukrainian embassy or something like that. They went over there and said, we can only give you a little wave. And what did he say? He said a little smile and a wave here or there. Y'all remember that? And the squatties ate them up to today. They still eat them up with that. Byron still eat. I know is it by I don't know if it's Byron or the Duchess of Success. One of them eats them up with that all the time. Just a little wave here there. You remember that? And they brought baked goods, something that they had never done before. I don't see how Harry and Meghan take it. I really don't. I admire them so much because if I had somebody copying me so hard, I just don't know what I would do. I don't to me is mocking. It is just to do everything that you do. Like today, William was over there at the NFL UK event. When has he ever been interested in the NFL until Harry just started to partnership with the NFL? And we all know about the Pat Tillman Award, but yet and still here he is. And that would just grind my nerves. So maybe they doing it as a way to grind your nerves, but to have so little individuality as they just copy everything that you do because you can go back and just talk about the things that Harry and Meghan has done that has been uniquely theirs when they were in that family and out of their family, and you can just go back and just find where they have consistently copied them time and time again. She's copying Megan now because Megan chose not to wear her engagement ring. We all know that it was getting repaired or whatever. And sometimes Megan just don't like the bulk of it, I'm sure. And all of a sudden, here she is not wearing her big sapphire, which is odd to me because for they've been married what 11 years? No, 13 years. And for 13 years, you couldn't pry it off of her finger, but all of a sudden, here she is without it. And talking about, in her shampoo commercial that this is going to be something new and they're going to go forward from here, and it's no sapphire and diamond big old honker of a ring, Diana's ring. I mean, every little thing they be on Harry and Meghan. I can't, I don't see how Harry and Meghan take it. And also this little memory here, it is a video of this man. They it was a TV show, and they decided that they were gonna try to get flowers to Megan. So they followed them around all their different engagements. And he didn't get, I think it was the first or second one he went to, he was unable to give them the flowers. Then he finally was able to give Megan the flowers. And I'm gonna put this up, and it says, Harry and Meghan in Australia. We can't give, you can't give flowers this big to my wife. What that's all about? Let's see if Camilla, who sleeps with, let's see if Camilla, who slept with Harry's mom's Princess Diana's husband, King Charles, would get this reception. No one likes an adulteress. Well, I tell you, but here is the picture. I went and found it, and this is the guy, the back of his head, and he was like all these big old flowers, and he finally did it. And it was a TV show called Fritz and Whipper, and gets flowers to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And Prince Harry said, "You can't be giving them flowers. You can't be giving big old flowers like that to my wife." Y'all remember that? It was so good. Everything about this was so good. And I tell you what I love. I knew Meghan was a superstar when this happened. Y'all remember how Meghan came down them stairs? Woo! Megan came down those stairs. If you can go and find the video, Megan walked down those stairs like she was a supermodel on a runway. It is the most beautiful thing to watch, and she never even looked down to see where she was going. Look at Harry looking down for her. It is so beautiful. And I said to myself, when they saw that, they knew who they was dealing with. They knew that they was dealing with an A plus plus boss biatch. Because Megan came down those stairs like no other has done before. I'm telling you, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing to watch if you can go back. And it's also in the Harry and Meghan documentary, her coming down the stairs. Oh, it is so amazing how she does that. And she looks so good, and she's in these heels, pregnant, and she comes down those stairs like I said, like a boss biatch. When I saw that, I saw it in real time because I was watching everything that was happening on this tour. I was glued to the television. I'm telling you, at that time, my mom was alive, and me and my mom, we were just so enthralled with Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, her being American, her being of African descent. Oh, we were just so enthralled, and she was just knocking it out the park time and time again. But when she came down them stairs, when she descended down those stairs, it's a beautiful thing. That's all I'm saying. I loved it. And look how she just cocked the head a little bit to Harry. I love it. I love it. And they look so good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It was just so good. So good. So good. All right, let's see what else I got in here. Oh, yeah. Y'all remember when they went to the Australian Zoo? And yeah, and y'all remember this white dress that Megan wore? She had wore it to the reception with, I think it was the Prime Minister, and it was from an Australian designer, and and they had the Australian designer on the news, and she said she woke up to her phone jumping off her night table, just blowing up because people was calling her, telling her that Duchess Megan was wearing her dress, and she had a um a store in one of the malls and stuff like that, and she showcased it in the window, this dress that Megan was wearing. And it was a huge, huge thing. Everything Megan wore on this tour just blew completely up. She planned it to the T. Everything she wore was just, it had a meaning, even down to her sneakers. It was so, 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 so good. Oh my goodness. Don't you miss that? Well, I don't miss it too. Well, we had it. We just had it in Colombia and we had it in Nigeria. But when she went on royal tours, I think this tour was like like 12 days long, and it was just day after day after day of nothing but the hits. And Megan was wearing all these beautiful clothes. It was just so, so good. And they could not handle it. They couldn't. And I also wanted to put up there with I'm gonna put up here where Harry and Meghan. You remember when Harry they met I think it was the prime minister. They met and he gave them, Meghan, while she was on this tour, for when the minute they touched down, they announced that she was expecting Archie, and everybody was so happy. It just made everything just tick up even more. The excitement. It was just so good. Everywhere they went, they were giving them toys and they had signs about their baby. So they met with the prime minister and he gave them a kangaroo with a little kangaroo in the pouch. You remember that? And the little shoes, the little Ugg shoes they got for Archie. And we later saw Archie wearing those very shoes over in Canada. You remember he was on the picture and he had on those very same shoes. I mean, it was just, oh my goodness, it was just so good. And because this was so good, they are trying to rewrite history again, trying to rewrite history because Charles is going over there and nobody don't care and everybody is snubbing him. So they want to try to somehow rewrite the success of Harry and Meghan's tour to Australia, because we all know everybody is talking about Harry and Meghan's trip to Australia compared to Charles riding his horse down there. So I found this in the Express, and this is what they said. Meghan Markle expected more praise from the firm after Australian tour broke Sussex's. That's what they are writing. That Harry and Meghan expected more praise than they got. It wasn't a fact, and I'm going to read a little of it, but it wasn't the fact that Harry and Meghan expected more praise. It's that Harry and Meghan didn't expect the hate. Harry and Meghan didn't expect the shanking that they got afterwards, meaning that the knives were firmly planted in their back and they were plotting to get rid of them after this particular tour. They weren't expecting that. No, they weren't expecting that. They weren't expecting that Megan thought that the church smelled like you know what, and so she wanted to put perfume. You remember that old dumb story they put out that she was not expecting that her father, that they were going to continue to drag him up and have him on national television all the time. She wasn't expecting to a lie to be planted that saying that she made Kate cry um um bridesmaids dresses. You right. They didn't expect a lot, but praise was not one of them that they was expecting. They just weren't expecting all the other nonsense that came along with it. The jealousy, the deceit, the planning of stories, the lying, the undermining. That's the stuff that they didn't expect. The hardcore jealousy, they didn't expect that. Well, Harry said he expected, because Harry been in that family for a while. But Megan did. It all hit Megan like a Mack truck. She did not. She thought as long as she did her best and when she did good. And this is the way Megan was raised. You do good, you're rewarded for good. People don't try to destroy you because you're a good person. Who would think that? But in this family of vipers and scorpions, yeah, if you're a good person and people like you and you're capable and you're beautiful and you're intelligent, well, yeah, they have to get rid of you. They're going to shank you. They're going to shank you. And so let's read the story. It says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle toured Australia just a year before they left the royal family. And it was just 1 year. They could not last over a year. They wanted Megan gone. They wanted her out of there because she was so Diana like. They smelled it, they saw it, it was in their eyes. They have never, none of them have never had a tour like Harry and Meghan's tour. Ever in their days. The Queen could only the Queen was the only one who had tours like that before. They had those kind of crowds. Charles, without Diana, no. He had them with Diana, but without Diana, he did not. And William and Kate, nobody cared. And they saw that and they lost their mind. The plot was in, the plan was hatched, the shanking had to commence. I'm just saying. It says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's tour to Australia just an hour, just an hour, just a year before they left the royal family, with a new report revealing that it was the catalyst for them quitting. Well, no, Sherlock. The Royal Tour of Australia in 2018 was on the surface a triumph for Harry and Meghan Markle. However, behind the scenes, the tour marked the beginning of a deep rift between the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and the royal family, a new report claims. Well, I don't see why it's a new report because we already knew that, because the jig was up when they came back. And then you remember how they was talking about it was really up, like, yeah, I would say like 4 or 5 days within the tour, when they saw the tour was going to be a smash out of the park. They started talking about how Megan announced that she was pregnant at Eugenie's wedding, and how it overshadowed Eugenie, or they was trying to overshadow Eugenie. Y'all remember that? They were still on the tour when that nonsense was being written. They sure was. They was trying to sabotage then. And then they came up with uh, Megan made Kate cry. I digress. It said, oh, okay. The tour marked the beginning of the deep rift between the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and the royal family, a new report claims. Shortly after the royal wedding, Prince Harry and Meghan's toured Australia in conjunction with that year's Invictus game in Sydney, and made global headlines after Meghan Markle revealed her first pregnancy. The official visit also included a visit to Fiji, Tonga, and New Zealand, and they followed in the footsteps of Harry's parents, as Charles and the late Princess of Wales' first royal tour was to Australia and New Zealand, and we all know how that turned out. I'm telling you, Australia, if you're popular, according to the reports in Sky News Australia, the Daily Fail, Raw editor Russell Myers says on the couple's return that they got little praise and recognition for the success of the tour. Well, we all know why. We all know why they got little praise, because they were pretty shocked by everything that had went down, because they knew that they could not duplicate. They couldn't replicate or duplicate what Harry and Meghan had done. Harry and Meghan had caught um, lightning in a bottle. It ain't too many people who can do that. Diana caught lightning in a bottle, and Harry and Meghan together caught lightning in a bottle. And these people was so jealous. Of course they weren't gonna say anything. Of course they weren't gonna say anything. Mr. Myers says Australia broke Harry and Meghan and was one of the catalysts for them leaving the royal family. He added she and Harry had expected that they would get much more praise and recognition from the royal tour. It was 16 days. 16-day trip began in Sydney and included dozens of official events, and there being a large media and security present at events. In their widely publicized 2021 Oprah Winfrey interview, Meghan and Harry themselves would agree things really changed after the Australia tour, and we all know why. And they trying to pretend like it was because they didn't praise them. No, it wasn't that. I think Meghan and Harry could have lived with them not praising them. What they couldn't live with is them lying on them and feeding them to the wolves and isolating them and pretty much just causing complete chaos and mental stress on a woman who was pregnant, and just nitpicking and just getting their minions, their flying monkeys in the media to accumulate together to for one particular goal, and that was to destroy Meghan or make her so unhappy that she would leave. That is what they didn't expect. The royal reporter Angela Mallard also spoke on Sky News Australia about Meghan's growing frustration about the lack of praise received. They know they lying, but these are the kind of people they are. This is what they talk about. They don't want to say how Harry and Meghan was treated because they caught lightning in a bottle. They want to say they didn't get the praise they thought too. So they petulant. That's what it was. We all know what it was. She said she was part of a big institution and she wasn't the hero of it. She was a cog in the wheel that became clear after Australia. No, what became clear was her and Harry was out there by themselves. That they didn't have anybody, anybody on their side. And it wasn't because of anything that they did. It wasn't because they messed up. What kind of a family that you do good and they punish you for it? You would think if you do bad, they would punish you for it, but you do good and they punish you for it. Because I'll tell you, the Australian and Oceanic tour that Harry and Meghan went on, it don't get much better than that. I'm telling you, I was searching and trying to find everything. I was counting how many hours Australia was ahead of where I was, so I would not miss a thing. I was on YouTube. I was doing everything I could to just soak up all of it. And it was a lot of people like me. And they saw that and they wanted to destroy it. And it says royal historian Tom Egert also spoke on the platform to confirm Meghan and Harry's Australia tour was a huge success. It's the biggest success that they saw since Diana. And they did the same thing to Diana. Diana cried most of it, of her tour with Charles, not because of anything to do with Australian people, but his nasty behavior. And like I said, the bullying, the lying, the planning of the stories, the feeding to the wolves started before the tour had ended. And it only got worse and worse and worse. And Megan was pregnant. This is who these people were. And now they're trying to rewrite history. Trying to rewrite history. All I can say is I'm done with these people. But one thing, I am so glad one squatty on X said this. What all the stuff they wanted for Harry and Meghan is now happening to them. Karma has knocked on the door and they got the answer. And I just love it for them. I'm gonna put this up because it is so poignant because the politicians don't want Charles and his horse. They don't even want William or Kate because you hear them not clamoring. They talking about they don't want none of that. They want Harry. It's that one thing about the consequences of your action is that they always come back to bite you in the backside when we least expect it, like when you're on a foreign tour. Look at this. Premier Roger Cook delighted at the idea that Prince Harry comes to Waha. The King, with the King Royal tour still uncertain. This was before they knew that Charles was coming. They wanted Harry to come. This even was after Harry had left the royal family. They wanted Harry to come, and I would not be surprised if they didn't give Harry and Meghan an invitation. And I'm telling you, if Harry and Meghan showed up in Australia, that would blow up their spot for real. All right, y'all, let me put this up. Y'all know what's next. Y'all know what's next. I want to put this up too. It says what Megan's picture said, but the titles. But yeah, they always want to talk about Harry and Meghan's titles. But it's not the titles, it's the shine. And also I want to put up with Kate. Kate, we see right into your soul, Kate. Kate said, Megan, you ruined my life by having a work ethic. You ruined it. And then also, of course, we gonna put up this. You mess with Harry and Meghan, the squatties will eat your face off. James Middleton. Y'all thought I forgot about that. Yeah, kissing that boy. All right, y'all. Bye.